Okay, good evening. Good evening, friends. Pinotani. Welcome to our online broadcast of our evening Buddha Puja, Parita chanting, reflection on the Dhamma, and meditation on loving kindness. So as you know, we have been organizing this since we came to this new premise, and especially during this Vas retreat, we are organizing a continuous series of punya kammas or meritorious deeds until Vas or Kathina on October 24th. So sponsorships are available, and people are making this possible by sponsoring the event. So today we have been fortunate that Mr. A.M.G. Somatilaka and Mrs. P.D. Agnes, the couple, the family, are sponsoring this event to wish you all good health, happiness, success and prosperity. The intention is also to dedicate this pinkama to the departed relatives. So the parents of Agnes, P.D. Yuan Apu and I.D. Caroline, okay, and brothers P.D. Joseph Benjamin and P.D. Francis Siri, and also brother-in-law Anton Piris, and also Mr. Somatilaka's dear father A.M.G. Simon. So to bless all the departed relatives for their well-being wherever they are, may they receive the blessings and may they rejoice in our pinkama today and be happy and peaceful wherever they are. Eventually may they attain the blissful state of Nibbana. We also have been requested to dedicate this pinkama to the mother of Mr. Somatilaka, M.G. Leelavati, to wish her good health, happiness and long life, and may she also rejoice in the pinkama and then be happy, rejoice and make her life happy. So we bless for speedy recovery as well. So with all those kind intentions, the sponsors A.M.G. Somatilaka and P.D. Agnes are joining us today from home. They wish to also offer the Attapirikara to the Buddha and make accumulate merit for the well-being and share with every one of you for your good health and happiness as well. So we thank them for this sponsorship. So as usual, we will continue with our Buddha Puja, with chanting and listen to the Dhamma and meditate towards the end. So to begin the worship, can you please say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa 3 times to observe 5 precepts. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vīramani sikkhapada samādhiyāmi. Adinādāna vīramani sikkhapada samādhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccācārā vīramani sikkhapada samādhiyāmi. Musāvādā vīramani sikkhapada samādhiyāmi. Surāmeraya majjapamādaṭṭhāna vīramani sikkhapada samādhiyāmi. Tisaraṇena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammaṃ appamādena sampādetabbam. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammā sambuddhassa. Iti piso bhagavā arahaṃ sammā sambuddho vicācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasārathi sattā deva manussānaṃ buddho bhagavāti. Buddhaṃ jīvitaṃ yāva nibbānaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Ye ca buddhā atītā ca ye ca buddhā anāgatā paccupannā ca ye buddhā ahaṃ vandāmi sabbadā. Natti me saraṇaṃ aññaṃ buddho me saraṇaṃ varaṃ. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalam. Uttamangena vandehaṃ pādapaṃ suvaruttamam. Buddheyo kalito doso buddho kamatu taṃ mamam. Swakhato bhagavata dhammo sanditthiko akaliko. Ehi passiko opanayiko paccattam veditabbo viññohiti. Dhammaṃ jīvitaṃ yāva nibbānaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Ye ca dhammā atītā ca ye ca dhammā anāgatā paccupannā ca ye dhammā ahaṃ vandāmi sabbadā. Natti me saraṇaṃ aññaṃ dhammo me saraṇaṃ varaṃ. Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalam. Uttamangena vandehaṃ dhammaṃ ca tividhaṃ varaṃ. Dhammeyo kalito doso dhammo kamatu tang mamang Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyayapatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala Esa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyakhetang lokasati Sanghang jivitang yavanimbanang saranang gacchami Ye ca sangha atita ca ye ca sangha anagata Paccapanna ca ye sangha ahang vandami sabbada Natti me saranang anyang sangha me saranang varang Etena sacca vajjena hotu me jaya mangalang Uttamangena vandehang sanghang ca tividottamang Sangheyo khalito doso sangho kamatu tang mamang Kanasarappadittena dīpena tamadang sina Tilokadīpang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang Gandha sambhara yuttena dhupenahang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyantang puja bhajanamuttamang Vanna gandha gunapetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa siripada saroruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena ca hotu mokkhaṃ Pupphaṃ milayati yatha idamme kāyo tatha yati vināsa bhāvaṃ Adhivāsetu no bhante pāniyaṃ parikappitaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante gilāna paccayaṃ imaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Adhivāsetu no bhante gilāna paccayaṃ imaṃ Anukampaṃ upādāya patiganhātu uttama Vandāmi cetiyaṃ sabbaṃ sabbathāni supatitthitaṃ Sāririka dhātu mahābodhiṃ buddharūpaṃ sakalaṃ sadā Yassa mūle nisinno ve sabbāri vijayaṃ akā Pato sabbaññutaṃ sattha vandetaṃ bodhipādapaṃ Ime ete mahābodhi lokanātena pujitā Ahampite namassāmi bodhirāja namattute Kāyena vācā cittena pamādena maya kataṃ Accayaṃ kamami bhante bhuri pañña tathāgata Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang Acchayang khamame dhamma sanditthika akalika Kayena vacha cittena pamadena maya katang Acchayang khamame sangha supatipanna anuttara Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sambe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Ettavata ca amhehi sambhatang punya sampadang Sambe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo Imina punya kammene mami bala samagamu Satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya Idamme punyang asavakkaya vahang hotu Sambedukha pamuncatu Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu අද දවසේ දායකත්වයේ දරන පින්වතුන් AMG සෝමතිලක මහත්මයා PD ඇග්නස් නෝනා මහත්මියත් බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ තමන්ගේ දයාබර ඇග්නස් නෝනා මහත්මියගේ දයාබර දෙමාපියන් PD ජුවන් අප්පුව සහ ID කැරොලයින් ඒ වගේම සහෝදරයන් වන PD ජෝසප් බෙන්ජමින් සහ PD ෆ්‍රාන්සිස් සිරි මහතුරු දෙපළටත් තමන්ගේ මස්සනා වන ඇන්ටන් පීරිස් මහත්මයාට පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට ඒ වගේම සෝමතිලක මහත්මයාත් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා තමන්ගේ දයාබර පියාණන් වහන්සේ AMG සයිමන් මහත්මයාට පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට. ඉතින් අද දවසේ දායකත්වය දරාගෙන විහාරස්ථානයේ පූජාවට සම්බන්ධ වෙලා ඒ අෂ්ට පරිස්කාර බුද්ධ පූජාවට බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට පූජා කරලා බලාපොරොත්තු වන ඒ සියලු දෙනාටම පින්පෙත් අනුමෝදන් කරන්නට. ඉතින් අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු මේ පින්වල අනසෙන් ඒ අයගේ සංසාරික ජීවිතය සපත් වෙලා කෙලවර ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන බෝධියකින් උතුම් අමා මහ නිවන් සුවය සාක්ෂාත් කරගන්නට හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා සාදුකාරයක් දෙමු. ඒ වගේම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා ඒ සෝමතිලක මහත්මයා තමගේ දයාබර මෑණියන් වහන්සේට නිරෝගී සුවය දීර්ඝායුෂය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරගෙන MG ලීලාවතී මාතාවට ඉතින් අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා මේ පිරිත් වල සත්‍යයනාව බලයෙන් එතුමියට දීර්ඝායුෂය වගේම නිරෝගී සුවය ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා කරන කෙනෙක් කටයුතු සාර්ථක කරගන්නට ඒ බුද්ධ ආදී රත්නත්‍රි ආශිර්වාදයේ හේතු වාසනා වේවායි කියලා. So as usual, we are going to chant Ratana Sutta now to bless all participants on this online community. All participants, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha be upon you for your good health and happiness, especially during these lockdown times. So hence we made this pinkama or the punyakam available to you online so that you can participate from homes. And rejoice in these evening hours, participating in the religious ceremonies that we are providing you. So please, listen to the chantings with great attention and also bear in thoughts if anyone is ill by any illness, as well as COVID-19. May they gain speedy recovery. May all the families be well, happy, and also enjoy good health. Furthermore, we dedicate this as usual to all the key workers in the country and the world. May all the NHS staff, doctors and nurses, admin staff also have more courage and determination to continue to provide their valuable services to look after the patients, especially COVID-19, and also their families. So may everyone enjoy good health, happiness, and may all have a peace of mind. And with those kind intentions, so we broadcast this live Padita chanting for your well-being. So please listen to the chanting with great attention and respect. Samanta Cakkavalesu atra gacchantu devata saddhammam munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkhadan parittasavana kalu ayam bhadanta parittasavana kalu ayam bhadanta Paritta Dhamma savana kalu ayam bhadanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Yani dabhutani samagatani bhummani vayani vayantalikhe Sambeva bhuta sumana bhavantu atopi sakkacca sunantu bhasitang Tasmahi bhutani sameta sabbe mettam karota manusiya pajaya Divacharatto chaharanti e baling tasmahi nerakhata appamatta Yankinci vittang idhavahurang va sagge suvayang ratanang panitang Nano samang atti tathagatena idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu khayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samatti kinci idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu Yang buddha setto parivannai sucing samadhimanantarikanyamahu Samadhinatena samona vijjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye puggala atta satang pasatta cattari etani yugani honti Te dakhineya sugatassa savaka ete sudinnani mahaphalani Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye suppayutta manasadalhena nikkamino gotama sasanam hi Te pattipatta amatang vigaiha ladda mudha nibbuting bhunjamana Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yathindakilo pataving sitosiya chatubhivate sampakampiyo Tathupamang sappurisang vadami yo varya saccani avecca passati Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Ye arya saccani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani Kincapi te honti bhusappamatta nate bhavang attamang adiyanti Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Sahavass dassana sampadaya tayassu dhamma jahita bhavanti Sakaya ditthi vichikichitancha silabbatang vapi yadatti kinchi Chatuha payehi ca vippamutto caca bithanani abhabbo katung Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Kincapi so kammang karoti papakang kayena vaca udaceta sava Abhabbo so tassa paticchadaya abhabbata dittha padassa butta Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Vanappa gumbe yata pussitagge gimhanamase patamasmin gimhe Tatupamang dhamma varang adesai nibbana gaming paramang hitaya Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Varo varanyo varado varaharo anuttaro dhamma varang adesai Idampi buddhe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Khinang puranang navang natti sambhavang viratta citta ayatike bhavasming Te khina bija avirulhichhanda nibbanti dhira yathayang padipo Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suvatti hotu Yani dabhutani samagatani bhummani vayani veyantalikhe Tathāgatang deva manussa pujitang buddhang namassāma suvatti hotu Yani dabhutani samagatani bhummani vayani veyantalikhe Tathāgatang deva manussa pujitang dhammang namassāma suvatti hotu Yani dabhutani samagatani bhummani vayani veyantalikhe Tathāgatang deva manussa pujitang sanghang namassāma suvatti hotu Etena sacca vajjena sabba dukkhang vinassatu Etena sacca vajjena sabba bhayo vinassatu Etena sacca vajjena sabba rogo vinassatu Devo vassatu kālena sassa sampatti hetu ca Pīto bhavatu loko ca raja bhavatu dhammiko Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu loka sāsanang Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu dhamma desanang Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahiddhikā Punyantang anumoditva cirang rakhantu mang paranti Sadhu, sadhu. So that was the end of the Ratana Sutta chanting. Every day at 6:30 we go live, we broadcast our evening Buddha Puja, Parita chanting, Dhamma reflection and meditation on loving kindness until 24th October when we hold our Katina ceremony. So during this vast retreat, we have been reflecting on the Dhamma so that we are engaging in religious observances, and it is a meritorious deed when we listen to the Dhamma quite often. So what it does is obviously it helps us to be mindful of our own living and own behavior and own practices. So it is a great opportunity that you have, that you can practice from home. So if you would like your friends to also join, you can direct them to lmmc.online if they do not have Facebook. So lmmc.online, and then they can participate live at 6:30 every day as well. So every evening we do this for the well-being of you, so that you can participate no matter wherever you are in the world, and learn a little bit of the Dhamma, even remind yourself of the Dhamma. So today this event is made possible by generous sponsors AMG Somatilaka and Mrs. P.D. Agnes. So they have sponsored the event. So we will do Punyanmodana towards the end. So now let us sit down comfortably and to listen to the Dhamma. So for those who are or who have just joined, we are doing a Dhamma reflection from the wise words of the Buddha collected in a book called Dhammapada. And ever since we started this Dhamma reflection series, we are reflecting on selected verses. We have to remind ourselves that this is not in a sequence. They happen random times during the Buddha's time. But the book was compiled to this format, which obviously has 423 verses. Not all verses, there are not 423 events. There could be a couple of stanzas per event, but this story that we share with each event indicates, that sometimes it is a reflection, or it is a reminder, or it is how we need to behave, or how we need to take the situation wisely. So there are lots of types of verses, and they are categorized into chapters, and this is the twin verses chapter, where there are either opposites or there are double sides to the, or the stories also are separate in some cases. So yesterday we shared a story where one of the butchers during the Buddha's time, who used to kill animals, especially pigs. So was a pork butcher named Chunda, and he was near the Buddha's vihara during the Buddha's time. So his actions of killing every day, several animals, became a habitual action, and therefore the person gradually, obviously, as towards the end of his life, was repenting a lot, having killed many animals. And it is recorded that he also actually, before he died, squealed like a pig, and later on, because he did not have a good state of mind towards the last moment of his life, it is recorded that he was born in a woeful or in a negative plane of existence and suffered more. So we have been focusing on actions and guilt yesterday. So the word we used was papa, which means evil or wicked or wrong deeds. And papa kari ubhayata sochati. So the person who does evil will lament, we will suffer, will not just in this life but also in the future lives. So it talks about ubhayata, means both. So this and the other. Okay. So reflecting or looking at his own actions, this person, anyone who does wrong deeds will start to suffer, will grieve, because we do know that everyone feels pain, everyone feels pain and pleasure. So when you cause someone to do something wrong, or when you cause harm to someone else, we will sometimes remember that, because that is the habitual thing that you always do. So the next stanza is about the positive things that we could do, and the word used is called punya. So I'm going to recite the gatha first and then give the vague translation to you. Idha modati pecha modati. So idha modati, he rejoices, or one rejoices here. Pecha modati, one rejoices hereafter, in afterlife as well. Katapunyo ubhayata modati. So in both states, the well-doer, or the person who does merits, or the person who engages in meritorious deeds, rejoices in both worlds. So modati, so pamodati. So the person, because when you rejoice in something good that you do, as much as you have guilt and pain when we look at the negative things, a person will actually go beyond rejoicing. It exceeds a different level of happiness. Sorry. So it will not just rejoice, but actually will go extremely or exceeding, rejoice. Will be very, so it's happy and very happy style. It's rejoice more. How? Disva kamma visuddhi mattana. We'll look at the purity of his own deeds. Now, this word is quite important. Purity. Visuddha. So it's not just suddha means very clean, very pure. Visuddha means more. It's sort of deeply clean. So visuddha mattano. So attano. We'll look at your own deeds with such happiness, because everything was done out of pure mindset. Okay, so this is the translation, and we're going to look at this. So the story behind this was that during the Buddha's time, there was a layperson called Dhammika, who was very virtuous and was really fond of doing charity, helping others a lot. Always makes offerings to holy people, and just even like randomly choosing events and dedicating events for the well-being of others. Later on, he became the disciple of the Buddha, obviously, and he had many children, obviously. But when he was ill towards the end and on his deathbed, he requested the monks to recite. Okay, and so he was in his last moment. So monks are normally invited to recite or chant when someone is critically ill, and obviously anticipating death. So when the monks were chanting the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, he had a vision of 6 decorated chariots from 6 celestial worlds arriving to invite him to their worlds. So the planes of existence. So they were beyond. So these chariot drivers obviously were heavenly bodies, and they were inviting him to their respective worlds. And happened to be that Dhammika was saying, "Stop, wait." He was such a devout person that he, although despite his illness and despite his pain, his focus was completely in the chanting, and he didn't want that. He wanted to wait until the chanting was over. Now the monks thought that it was that he had raised his hand for the monks to stop, so they stopped. But actually, he said, "No, it is for the others. So please continue chanting." So the bhikkhus, they actually continued the chant later on. And then, so when Dhammika then told his children that it was it was his, it was an invitation for him to go to their worlds. So, which is what has become some base of this common understanding in Buddhism, because unless I think we discussed this some time ago, unless you have some weighty karma or actions, such as attaining particular jhanas on the positive side, or in the negative side, panchanantara karma, like matricide, patricide, bleeding the Buddha, dividing the community or sangha amongst, and also killing an arhat. So unless this heinous, because to actually be in a state of actually harm such people would be a heinous act in Buddhism. So unless you do those things, if you have the attainment of your jhanas, you go to a different plane of existence, whereas the heinous ones will directly take you to the hell. So therefore, what is then subsequently conducive for the next rebirth, rebecoming, is the last moment of this life. And when the last moment of this life is positive, it is believed, it is said that we will be having a pleasant existence. And therefore, it is quite important that we retain the good deeds that you do. So that's why the Gatha focuses on the word rejoice. You are happy thinking about the things that you have done, so you did, or there might be some mark. So just imagine your own daily, that becomes a routine, and when you do it, you are always committed to it selflessly, and therefore the good things that you do will become such a transforming action for your personal peace of mind. And therefore, when you engage in some good deeds, you will always enjoy, because it is pure, it is out of pure thoughts. So if you look at the word karma, we are talking about, in the Buddha's teachings, is the intention. So yesterday we discussed this briefly. It is the intention that you do that is karma. So when we do meritorious deeds, so if you look at the word punya, okay, so kata punya ubayata. So punya means merit. So merit is something that you do without perhaps expectation, okay? Because if you do out of expectation, yes, there might be results, because we believe in cause and effect. So you plant a seed, you expect a mango tree, fair enough. I think that the result is bound to be there. So, but if you do with expectation, then I think, or you're wanting this and wanting that, and we are not signing a contract with the pinkam. By doing a pinkam, we are not making, we are not actually engaging selflessly. There is a bit of a selfish motive there when you expect, by doing this may I, so that is again, there is a bit of an attachment there. So you are using this as if to compensate, or using this as if to do. So the word merit is quite something that you have to think. So merit, the widely used definition is chittang punati iti punyam. So if something that actually someone can be happy and rejoice having done, that would be called punya. So it is the in Sinhala we call pinavima, or to actually please the mind. Now, someone can please their mind by even doing wrong things. So therefore, this is not what we are talking about as punya. That will definitely be papa. Someone can rejoice in doing lots of harm to other people. They rejoice in being jealous. They rejoice in planning things and laugh, and they rejoice in hurting someone, and that is not punya at all. So, but because that is done out of evil and wicked in the mind. So therefore, in the word punya in Buddhism is something that you do with a pure mind, with a mind that is not tainted with lobha, dosa, and moha. So or with a mind that is quite the generous, that is quite altruistic, that is compassionate, that is loving, that is kind. So that is called punya, because you can't do certain things with vicious intention. It has to be something kind. It has to be something, because a kind person or kind mind is always identifiable. We always say it doesn't cost you to smile. And happiness comes freely. You can't buy happiness. You can experience happiness, because when you try to buy happiness, you always end up in pain and in suffering, because you're expecting something. But when you do something freely, when you do something without hooks or without hidden agendas, then there is no regrets, there is no pain, because you are not expecting anything. So it is sometimes like a duty, sometimes like a development factor, which therefore when turned into a skillful format, becomes kusala, wholesome. Now, such as, for example, the widely used two formats of or category of punya or meritorious deed are called trividha punya, or three meritorious deeds, which is dana, sila, and bhavana. Okay, so charity or generosity, morality, and developing your state of mind or purifying your mind. Then there's another category that can develop into 10 meritorious deeds as well. So the fourth one is respecting elders and people deserve respect, or even respecting everyone. Okay, helping others, in like doing some service, treating someone, So when you treat someone, we all might think, okay, sometimes people treat because they are paid to treat. But if you think, may my service be helpful for this person's well-being, that can also be like slowly converted into, or seen as punya, because you care for someone not for salary sometimes. So but if you do that as a salary-based caring, then you might not actually enjoy even what you're doing. You're doing it out of force. So you got to love what you're doing, and making them understand the truth and the reality. That is a great meritorious thing, Dhamma desana. And then listening to the Dhamma, like now you are listening to the Dhamma, it also actually starts settling your mind completely differently. So then when you listen to the Dhamma, you are also accumulating merit, because one, your state of mind is changing. If you start thinking, oh, I've heard this, I don't need to listen to this, then there is more ego rather than merit. Because listening to the Dhamma, no matter how many times you listen, it doesn't matter. It becomes a factor for internalization. Lots of people take it wrongly. Oh, we've heard this, we don't need to listen to this. Why is this always being said? And lots of people make criticisms, but I find that sometimes a bit egoistic in nature. Because thinking that we don't need we need to know something that we don't know. Then you might as well just read the whole Tripitaka, and then just because you read the Tripitaka doesn't mean you might understand or you might internalize. So you got to be careful when you say listening to the Dhamma, because when you listen to the Dhamma, you will gain some sort of insight somewhere, somehow. It doesn't matter how many times you listen. The more you listen, the more you will master in the topic. So I think listening to the Dhamma, so it doesn't matter whoever. Once you listen to the Dhamma, obviously if you listen mindfully and wisely, carefully listen, and then as we know, the Buddha has invited investigation, so you can cross-link and cross-study and deepen your knowledge, because sometimes you might hear something which then you might want to find out more, and sometimes you might also see that what might be practically quite differently. You might try to understand it in a different way. You can understand the same thing in many ways. So there might be something that will spark your wisdom so that you can internalize. So listening to the Dhamma is always a meritorious deed. In the Mangala Sutta, it is also a blessing to engage in Dhamma discussion, to learn something quite differently. So the reason is because the more you listen, the more you listen, the more sharp the idea becomes, the more the spark of wisdom starts glowing within yourself, and then your thinking becomes pure. Because we do need reminders, we forget things, we do need reminders. So as much as we put reminders for certain things, sometimes we forget that Dhamma is also needed to remind us, and therefore during this time, for the whole 3 months, we are trying to recognize, understand, investigate, examine, and also internalize by listening to the Dhamma, because that is the what leads to the last one, straightening your views. We do have fixated views. We might have that views being tainted or germinated by different types of understanding. So when you do read or refer to the suttas yourself, you will then start straightening your views. So Ditthiya Kamma, this is one of the most important, to actually to even excel, or even to go beyond the sansaric journey. So that is the 2 categories, the 3 meritorious deeds and then the 10 meritorious deeds. So when you engage in this, as we discussed, it does actually bring a different transformation skill within yourself. The word punya is, as I said, should not be seen as I'm doing this, therefore I will get this, or I will, I should, or I want this. That attitude should not be when you do some punya kammas. The meritorious deeds should be completely altruistic for the well-being of others, or even yourself, your spirituality, if you want to put it that way. Because say for example you got on a train and you know what stations lie ahead of you, so there's no point praying and asking, oh, can I make the station come, make the station come. It is in the journey, if there are good things that you did, they will come to you as results, and that is a different matter, but if you do start making conditions and hidden agendas, then there are faults in your giving. Therefore, if you look at the first 3 meritorious deed, it is also partly as a skillful act. Okay, that's why we have it in the paramitas. Dana paramita. So dana as punya kamma, dana as paramita. So maybe just to give you a bit of understanding on that, I will just work on this for now, and then we'll continue with the rest in future. So you can, when you give, you can. There are lots of types of giving. So if you say, for example, when I said that, let's see about the merit. How can this giving or charity be a pure act? Let's have a look. Now, say for example, you throw a party. Now that is giving as well. You give food to someone. You cook nicely. Now, when you start throwing this party, then you have a limited people of invited people. Okay, so then it is the connection that you're looking at. You are giving this because they are your friends. You are sharing food because you want them to also do the same to you when you get invited. Sometimes we will think of, okay, I need to make sure my house is neat and tidy and bit of show off. And then then ego starts kicking in. Then you also obviously have to dress well and everything. So the more you start habitually nurturing this thing, the main idea of giving becomes a different case, and then the charity or that giving becomes a personal giving. So as you might give to like maybe orphanages or elderly homes, or you might give to homeless people. Sometimes we feel that oh, poor thing or poor people, you might have pity. Then when you have pity, then sometimes either it might turn into an egoistic nature, or it might turn into a different sort of empathy, which is not bad if it is empathy, but then if it doesn't transform into an ego, because I'm doing this because I can give, or I'm actually giving, but that becomes a different, there's no sort of a true transformation of your mind. But if you think that may they rejoice, may they be well, happy and give, then that's fine as well, And sometimes, when we give to those people, sometimes we, the best way to give is, like I know some we give it like this. When you give like this, then there is a bit of a, okay, this is the only, you're only getting this much. Sometimes, when you, I feel that when you give a homeless person, if you, how about like opening a palm and see what they take and how much they take, and that might be a sort of like a open giving rather than a closed giving, So when you give to a person that is in need, maybe you can open your palm and give, and then they can take however much they want. And that might be a different way of looking at this giving, because when you give, when you have personal contact and personal affiliation, there is a quite different approach. And some people, might even, throw parties with competition. Then there's a competition, and there's more ego as well. So the true giving is really out of loving kindness. True giving is out of compassion. It should not be self-centered. It has to be altruistic. Then only because then only there is no sort of taint, or there is no germination of your ego or your greed or your anger. So you can see how when you think of the word merit, when you think of the word as in the Gatha, Visuddhi, like the pure giving, it becomes such a holistic giving, which then should be practiced always. And then when you do like that, because when you do something without expecting anything in return, there is so much happiness. Because you're not expecting anything in return. You're not even expecting a thank you. You are completely giving because they deserve and they need it. Even if they don't need, but you can then make it your skillful act as paramita. You are practicing this materialistic or any type of giving as a service, or as an altruistic offering, or just learning how to let go. Because the word dana can also be looked with the synonym called chaga. Chago patinisaggo mutti analayo in the Dhammacakkappavattana. The chaga here word means tyaga, or gift, or let go. Mutti means to be free. Mukti, to let go, be free. So when you be free, you are being free from what you are giving as well, even the person that you are giving. So you have to try to be free of all those connections that you could possibly make. And then there is so much happiness in, because sometimes when you give what you like most, you feel a big challenge within yourself. The temptation is that I don't want to give, or I can't give. But when you learn how to let go of whatever you like most, or whatever you like, or whatever you have for yourself, then there is so much happiness, because the more you hoard the thing, the more there is pain sometimes, because anything happening or anything changing itself will bring pain and suffering. So the gradual practice is sometimes I would like to call it like art of giving. You can't master this in one go. It will take ages and lives and lives. Even the first one called dana, punya kamma, or dana, merit, or kusala, or paramita, when you do it regularly, it becomes a paramita. When you learn how to be charitable, not necessarily materialistic, you can, with your free time, with your knowledge, with your effort, with your kindness, when you become charitable, it becomes a paramita. It becomes a paramita in a sense, like it will help you to actually transform, not just in this life, but in future, and slowly, once you master it, you can go as far as like what the Buddha did. The first practice, or the first paramita, or the perfection, is learning how to give. So after the 10 perfections, or the first one is called dana paramita. So it is important that you actually know what you are doing, rather than doing it for the sake of doing, or doing it because you think this is going to do this to you, then there are again hooks, as I said. So you got to be very sort of, when you think of the word pure, the giving can become holy. Just completely detach yourself from what you are doing. Don't personalize, don't bring your ego, don't make it a self-centered business. You will then actually rejoice in what you're doing. You'll be happy in what you're doing. When you see the recipients, make use of what you've done, you feel more happy. Don't even think, they are being happy because of me. Then that is ego again. So you got to actually, see that, that it is this intention, it is the transformation of the mind that you have when you give. Completely let go. Release from your mind. And then that happiness you can't explain, but you can feel. It's the same way. Merit you can't explain, but you can feel. If you feel that happiness, if you feel that joy in the giving, you will start doing more and more releasing. So when you let go of more, you will then feel that things that you normally do in a self-centered format becomes. You start lessening. We'll start having less ego. We'll start having less problems in our own minds, because that is in a way desensitizing your way of practical giving. So when you rejoice in this, when you look at this, you will slowly realize that actually we all can share. And when we feel like this, then you don't feel, as I said earlier, no jealousy, but we can enjoy each other's presence, because sometimes when you can't let go of your anger, which is the hardest thing, obviously, the skillful mean is about learning how to let go. Okay, so learning how to let go of even everything in the giving would be perhaps the ultimate giving. So we have to make sure it is also wise giving. Okay, so wise giving in a sense, because just because giving is good doesn't mean that you give something that might be harmful. Okay, so if a person comes and asks for something, or like a knife, if you know that the person is going to do something wrong, now that doesn't mean you support or if someone wants something and you give something else. So there's lots of ways of looking at this giving. Okay, so today I was just actually focusing on the word giving, but having said that, just remember, when you learn how to do lots of good things. Now we just talk about charity here, but everything that you do wholeheartedly out of kindness and compassion is a good thing. And when you do that more and more, it becomes a habitual giving. It will be more, you start retaining those good deeds. If you do once in a while, you forget about it. So like you know your mobile number because you give it to others, you always say it like every time, then it becomes, you know it by heart. Okay, but if you if you look for someone else's mobile number but you have saved in their name, you'd never know them, because you only look for the name in the phone number in your phone, and you start dialing the name rather than the number, so you never know the number. But like that, in the memory, in the retention rate, and the more you visit it, the more you do it, we call it bhavitaya bahulikataya. So the more you do it, the more it becomes a second nature. So when it is second nature, that is always at the top level of our memories, when it is second nature. So the retention rate becomes higher, and you and if it is always at the top, you are always in a happy mode. You're always rejoicing in the things that you do, and you'd like to do more good things. So therefore, This Dhammika was like that. He had done so many good things. He was a regular, a well-doer, if I put it that way. And regular well-doer, because his heart was always out of, everything was done out of kindness and compassion. So you can see that, then there is, there is more happiness every time, because every time. Most of the time, our ways of looking is self-centered, me and I. Okay, so when it is me and I, when you think of me and I all the time, then you are self-centered, which might develop a different ego and personality. But when you think of others, when yourself is not there, then our ways of thinking is completely different, and there is harmony every time, there is peace every time in your mind. So therefore, if that is continuously practiced, even in any moment you pass away, or any moment you have, in this case, in this story, he was ill and he was in his last deathbed, the good things will always be in the memory. It is coming to and then you can be happy. I have lived a very good life, and then there's no worries of hereafter. So therefore, the Gatha is saying this person will be happy here and hereafter. Okay, so no matter what happens, the person is always pure in his thoughts, pure in actions and deeds. Okay, so with that short reflection of Gatha 16, verse number 16 in the Dhammapada, I come to a close of this short reflection. We will continue with the other meritorious deeds gradually, and we hope this has been a good time spending listening to the Dhamma, because we can transform even the way we do meritorious deeds. Okay, so the more altruistic, the more compassionate you are, the transformation is completely different. So likewise, today, wholeheartedly, the sponsors, Mr. A.M.J. Somatilak and Mrs. P.D. Agnes, made this event available for you by sponsoring the Puja and the Dhamma Desana, so that everyone listening can also rejoice. So see, we are providing making the opportunity to for me to say the Dhamma, 2, for you to listen the Dhamma, 3, the online community is rejoicing in what we are listening, and we are sharing our good thoughts with everyone. And we are, we are not just doing 1, 2 punya karmas. Like today, we have observed Panchasila, we worship the Buddha, we have a good state of mind, we have, developed a mental culture. So all of these 10 meritorious deeds are happening as we speak without our knowledge. All of the 10 meritorious deeds are happening as we speak without our knowledge. So if we rejoice in our good deeds, then we can be happy, not just now, not just tonight, not just tomorrow, every time you remember this. So if you engage daily in religious participation observance like this, it will become a habitual pattern for you as well to rejoice that you are honestly participating with great respect and with great interest in, especially during this Vasa retreat as well. Okay, so as we said before, we would dedicate this Pinkama to the well-being of all of you, for your good health, happiness and success during this lockdown time especially, but also to share merit with Mrs. Agnes's parents, P.D. Joanna Poo and I.D. Caroline, and also the brothers P.D. Joseph Benjamin and P.D. Francis Siri, and brother-in-law Anton Pires. So may they all receive our blessings and be happy wherever they are. May they rejoice in our Pinkama and also bless us from wherever they are. And ultimately, may they also attain the blissful state of Nibbana. We also dedicate this Pinkama to Mr. Somatilaka's father, A.M.J. Simon. May he also rejoice in our Punyakama and be happy wherever he is. May they all, if they are in an unfortunate condition, may they relieve themselves from there and continue to enjoy, be happy in sansaric life, and eventually attain the blissful state of Nibbana through their righteous path. So we also bless Mr. Somatilaka's mother for long life and good health, MG Lilavati. So may she receive our meritorious rightful intentions and blessings, and enjoy and have speedy recovery and enjoy good health. Okay, so with those kind intention, we will say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So may they all be well, happy, and peaceful. Okay. So before we come to a close, as usual, we will do a couple of minutes of Metta Bhavana. Okay. Okay, so just do three things. First is to make sure your body is balanced. Sit straight, so neither slanting to left or right, or even resting your back on the chair or sofa that you are sitting at home. Okay, so balanced body, the first request. Second request is make sure your fingers don't move, because they move when you get distracted, or your movement will distract you. So make sure if you can put your right hand on the left palm, that is quite ideal, and put them on your lap. Or if you are putting a hand on your knees, make sure you just stay as it is without massaging or fiddling with your clothing. And third request is to gently close your eyes. So sit straight, hands to yourself, and eyes gently closed. So just be mindful first of your sitting posture. Still, quiet, and peaceful. A great contrast from before 6:30, when your body was in movement. So it's very quiet and peaceful now, still. Reward or please or praise yourself that you are quietly sitting down and able to participate in this. Be happy that you are well enough to participate as well. And be mindful of that joy. No regrets. Be mindful of the people around you as well. If they are sitting and supporting your practice, thank them deeply. As much as you bless them and are pleased with their support, appreciate their presence with you. Appreciate the online community, whoever is participating from around the world. Be happy and treat this as a great community supporting each other to a very good practice. If there are family members not attending with you, don't criticize, no comments. Just be happy for them the way they are. Don't get distracted with their behavior or movements, but rather appreciate their presence at home and be happy about their happiness. Just be happy for them. And now be mindful of the infrastructure around your house, in your room especially. And just observe the peace and quiet at home, because we do need a very peaceful mind. As much as your body is quiet and peaceful, let the mind also settle down peacefully, not thinking about anything. As soon as you close your eyes, lots of thoughts do come. Just learn how to let go of those thoughts. Don't hang on to those thinking. Forget about what you've been doing. Just forget and let go of even what you're going to do after this session. Just completely free yourself. This freedom is very important. And when you are free, there is so much happiness and peace in the mind. It's a wonderful experience when you don't have any anticipation or expectation. Now you are just sitting down, dedicating yourself to this practice. So much peace, no expectations. Because we do know these attachments and expectations are barriers to your peace of mind. Let our mind be free from conditions. We are not expecting anything, nor are we going to do anything with expectation. This is happiness. This is freedom. We know when things actually come to your thoughts, it is always about a self-centered or developed personality or fixed views. And any comments that we make are based on those. Therefore, let's not be judgmental. Let go of people's actions. Let go of people's words. Don't let the emotions come to you and all the stories in the memories start playing the video in front of you. Just let go of those. Because the more you actually nurture them, the more there is a gap between you and the other people. There is a gap between you and your family members once you've had a small grudge or an argument. So the more you nurture them with your fixed views and ego and expectations, the grudge becomes resentful and you start nurturing it more and you come to a point that you don't even want to see the person's face. Let go of everything. So no expectations, no nurturing of those expectations or fixed views. Freeing yourself from everything is happiness, and you can only do that out of kindness and compassion within yourself. And the more you actually nurture this compassion and kindness, that peace of mind becomes greater and greater and greater, and there will be more resilience, there will be more happiness, more harmony. No aversion, no jealousy, no anger with others, and no boredom even for yourself, no frustration, no irritation. So where there is loving kindness, they all go away. Where there is no kindness, you start nurturing those anger, jealousy, frustration, boredom, and always self-centered viewing. So free your mind. Think of this kindness, think of this happiness, and wish them for yourself and others. Don't think it is an ideal concept, it is something practical that we can do. Once we remove our personality views and conditions and fixed views, we are all one. We will come to a stage of feeling the pain as yours and are able to help someone whenever in need. That compassion is also possible when we have kindness. So think about that concept of loving kindness called metta in Buddhism. And reflect on these lines, and as we repeat that in our minds, truly, genuinely think and wish for that, for yourself and for others. If the stations don't matter, please do skip but whoever matters, bring in their happy faces and happy moments and wish them those thoughts that we say. So genuinely think like this: may I be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to me. May no problems come to me. May no difficulties come to me. May I always meet with success. May I also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. You can relate this to this lockdown time and think about this. May I have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May I be free from anger, frustration and jealousy. May I be free from pain and suffering. And we wish the others the same. Make a genuine wish or think genuinely. May my parents, grandparents, teachers, uncles and aunts be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they also be free from anger, frustration and jealousy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May my husband, wife or partner, children, grandchildren, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews and nieces, neighbors, friends, colleagues at work, and some neutral people you may meet daily. May they all be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from anger, frustration and jealousy. May they be free from pain and suffering. May all living beings, including your pets, birds, animals and insects that come to your garden, seen and unseen beings, including all sentient beings, be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they always meet with success. May they also have the patience, courage and understanding to meet and overcome difficulties in life. May they be free from pain and suffering. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from pain and suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we come to a close of today's online broadcast. We've been online since 6:30 British Standard Time, and now it's 8 o'clock. So every day we broadcast online during this Vas retreat, especially engage in a series of religious observations. So we do worship the Buddha, we listen to chanting, and then we listen to a Dhamma reflection from the book Dhammapada, and also do Metta Bhavana. So tomorrow is Thursday, our weekly meditation of mindfulness meditation practice. So it'll be a different format. After the Dhamma reflection, we will engage in mindfulness meditation practice as usual, we do every week. So tomorrow's Puja and Dhamma sermon is sponsored by Mrs. Jiva Ekanayaka. So we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at 6:30. So thank you for joining us so far. And if you want other friends to join on this series until October 24th, direct them to Facebook and search for Bhante Sumana and look for LMMC. Or on YouTube live broadcast lmmc.online. So if you search for lmmc.online, you can also participate from anywhere in the world. Okay, so we hope this session has been helpful as it can be. So thank you for joining with us so far, and see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening.